If you do plan on making this farm, I would recommend watching the entire video, as I do make some changes to it throughout the tutorial. Hello everyone, it's GlitchNOut, and in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make a double cave spider spawner XP farm. Not one, but two spawners. The first step to building the farm is going to be finding the two spawners, and they have to be within fairly close proximity to each other so that you can activate both of them at the same time. You can also see that I have already torched up and lit up both of these spawners, and that is because when you're building the farm, you do not want to have to deal with the cave spiders, so lighting up the spawner basically just disables all the spawns. After that, you're going to want to dig out the rooms for your spawners, and basically this will maximize the amount of spawning spaces that the spawner can spawn the cave spiders, I guess you could say. And yeah, we're going to want to go 4 blocks in each direction from the spawner, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. Above the spawner, you're going to want to have 2 blocks, so 1 and 2. And then below the spawner, you're going to want to have 3 blocks. So yeah, do this for both of these spawners. Once you have both of your rooms dug out, you need to find out where you can stand so that you can activate both of the spawners at the same time. Now I've already done this with the use of a camera account, and you can see down here, my other account, GlitchNOut, is standing on this diamond block, and that is the lowest point where I can activate both these spawners, and obviously some of the other places within this diamond block area, and of course this diamond block area is all the spawnable spaces, or places where I can stand so that I can activate both spawners. But I found this one, it looks kind of good, and you'll notice how there's like 3 blocks right here, and what this does is gives us room to make a kill chamber. If you're in survival mode and you don't have access to a camera account, or you don't feel comfortable using one, then what you can do is basically dig tunnels so that you can see to the spawners. It's a little bit more time consuming, but if you don't feel like using a camera account, then that is probably the best way. Okay, it's now time for probably the most difficult part of building this farm, and that is going to be connecting the water streams. You'll notice that we have 2 spawners here and here, and the spawnable area is over here. So I think what I want to do is have one main spawner, and this is kind of what I like to do, find one main spawner and then one kind of secondary spawner, and the main spawner is going to connect directly to the killing chamber, and then the secondary spawner is going to just be connecting to the main spawner. And basically what this does is makes it so you only have to connect one of the spawners to the killing chamber, and the other one can just lead to the tunnel that is going to the killing chamber, and that makes it a lot more simple. Let's work on the main spawner first. We are going to be finding the corners and placing 2 water buckets down here and here, and what this will do is basically create a kind of triangle shape right here, and you want to dig that out so that you kind of have the water almost spilling over the edge, but not quite. The next thing you want to do is actually dig a tunnel that's going to go to right where your killing chamber is going to be, and I think that, yep, I missed it when I went by 1 block. It's going to be right here, so the tunnel is going to go this far, and in my case this is 5 blocks, and then we're going to make this a 2x3 tunnel by digging out the sides. And I'm actually going to go ahead and dig out another block right here, and then all we're going to do is dig another tunnel that's going to go straight to this area right here, and this is going to be where we're going to be standing. And that's pretty good. And on the other spawner, we're going to have to connect it to this area right here. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. Place the water down, dig out the little areas over here, and then dig our 2x1 tunnel going out. And you're going to want to dig this so that it is on the edge of this block right here. So you notice how I have a tunnel here, and then the other tunnel will be right over here. So all we have to do is actually connect these now, which is pretty simple in my case because it's a pretty straight shot, only a couple turns, and you want to make sure that you're using the least amount of turns as possible for a double cave spider spawner XP farm, or a double spider XP farm for that matter as well, because the spiders really like to climb on the walls, and that can make it very troublesome to deal with them. So if we look at it now, we have 2 spawner rooms, and then we have 2 2x3 tunnels that are leading to the kill chamber. Now we're going to have to see how far the water can travel. So basically we're going to dig out these blocks right here, and you're going to see that it leads right to the inside of this room. Going to go ahead and do the same thing on this side like this, and this one's a lot more simple. And after that, you are going to want to take some signs and place them right here. so that the water barely leaks into here. Pretty good. And do that on both sides. And in my case, on this one, because the wall is one thick here, I'm actually going to bring these signs in by one so they're right on the edge. After that, we need to do some water testing. So I'm going to go ahead and place some water here and place some water here and see kind of where it goes. And right now, this area right here needs to be lowered down. So let me explain. When I have the water here, it's going to spill over and kind of make this area right here where the water is going in both directions. We do not want that. So to fix that, we're going to go ahead and actually dig this area down by one block. And you want to do it right underneath the signs. And now we're going to have a 3x3 area, and we will be covering up some of this in the end. But yeah, basically what this does is makes it so that the water can just spill under. And I'm going to place some signs right here. Like that. It's pretty simple. And then, see, we're actually going to have to get rid of that. So the signs are going to disappear. And I'm having some trouble placing these signs. But there we go. Now we have this area right here. And we can put the water down underneath. And you'll see that when we stand here, we should get pushed in theory, and actually we're going to have to go ahead. So in this case, we're actually going to be placing these signs a little bit farther back. I'm sorry if there's any confusion, but this is actually a lot of testing real time to figure out kind of what works. And we want to make sure that the water will go to here. So all we have to do is take these blocks out right here, and then we're going to see that the water will flow down, and we want to place a few more signs right here like this. And we're going to go ahead and actually break these like that so that we have this nice little water canal coming down to here. And we're going to do this on the other side as well. So I'm going to go ahead and break these underneath. Make sure we fill everything in real quick. And you want to be placing torches. I just have night vision right now, and I've actually turned the game on peaceful for the sake of this tutorial. But if you're actually doing this, make sure you're placing some torches so that you can light up the area. I'm going to go ahead and do this. And then on the edge, we're going to be placing our signs again. Lots of signs, and this is kind of the key to making this work. And then you're just going to place your last little bit of water right here, and you'll notice how the water kind of comes to the edge here. You might have to lower the water a little bit more, but from here it's pretty simple. All we have to do is place our signs, and this is going to be how you're going to make the kill chamber. And what we're going to do is take some walls, put them one block away from the signs, and once we have the walls in, we're going to go ahead and place our hoppers like this. And on the other side, we're going to place our chest here, a chest here, and then we're going to place one more right here. We're going to cover up our little avatar for now, and then going to go ahead and put that last one right on this block right there. Then all we have to do is place some slabs on top of this. We're going to place one more block over here, and I'm actually going to go ahead and dig out some of this area over here like that. And then we're going to place some trapdoors, put them over the top, and this will create a less than a half block space so that the cave spiders can't get through. On the other side, we're going to be taking our water, placing it down like this, and then on the top, we are going to be covering all of this up with blocks. So basically now we have this nice area where the cave spiders can't get in, and we want to keep making this one block tall as we go. So over here, you'll notice that this is coming down like this. We're going to want to make this one block tall, and this area in the middle can actually be 2 blocks. I've actually gone ahead and moved this area down by 1, so now you'll see that there is a 2 block drop here, and that is to basically compensate for this area over here. I ended up moving the signs back by 1 block, and the water streams are now going a little bit further down. I did this because I had some extra space to work with, and this will help the spiders to move more efficiently. Basically, we have these 1 block roofs everywhere, you'll see like this. And after you do this, the farm is pretty much complete. All you have to do is go back and take the torches out, and then I'm going to show you a few extra tips that you can do to increase your efficiency if you want. These are optional, of course, but I'm going to go ahead, remove the torches. Remember, I am in peaceful mode, and I'm actually going to go ahead and turn that off right now. You'll see the spiders are spawning. Going to come over to this other side, do the same. And this is kind of the phase where you got to do some testing, kind of see how your spiders are flowing, if they're flowing correctly. And this one over here, he's kind of caught on the edge, but when new ones spawn, yep, and he might even come off by himself. Basically, you'll see over here, we have a nice killing chamber, and if I was an actual player, I would be killing these. But you'll see that the spiders are basically spawning, they're coming down, and, this is going to take a little bit of testing. And my goal here was to basically give you a basic tutorial on how, different things you can do to connect these. So, It might not always be this simple, might be more difficult if you're doing more spawners. Like if you had another one over here, you could always connect it right over to here. You know, finding the different areas where they all connect and that kind of stuff is very important. Right here, you'll see we have a lot of spider buildup. It's looking pretty good. And I think the farm is working pretty well. So yeah, now it's time to move on to those final tips for extra efficiency. The first tip I have for all of you is going to be to place a slab on top of your spawner. Do this on both of them, and this just makes sure that there isn't any spiders that can spawn on top of the spawner and then just stand there. The second one is also pretty simple. You're going to be placing some signs on the wall that has the kind of tunnel that leads to the kill chamber, and then all you're going to do, place some water above this, and this will basically drown any spiders that can climb up this wall. And then they'll just drown here, and they'll be cleared from the cap or cleared from the spawner area, and then more spawners can spawn. Or more spiders can spawn. More spawners can spawn. What does that even mean? But yeah, we're gonna do that on both sides. And after that's done, your farm should be completely finished. You may notice that some spiders are building up here and here, but that doesn't really matter because they're not in the spawn area of the spawner, so they aren't gonna mess up any of the spawns from the spawn cap. And when you leave the area, they will despawn, so it's fine as well. When you come over here, you want to make sure that to get your XP, you come up and you press yourself right up to the edge. If you're standing back here, you won't be able to reach the XP, and that is because this is less than a half block. So, you know, I have myself pressed up right to the edge here. If you're in survival mode, you might get poisoned sometimes while doing this. So instead, I would just kill all of them and then get your XP afterwards. So that is how you build a double cave spider XP farm. You can also work on adding more spawners if you want, but it makes it a little bit more difficult. And they're pretty hard to find, like triple and quadruple cave spider spawners. So most likely you're going to find either a single or a double. And hopefully this tutorial helped you in making the double cave spider XP farms, because I know that when I searched on YouTube for these kind of double cave spider XP farm tutorials, there weren't many out there, and it's because it's pretty difficult to talk about the process of making the XP farm. So I hope I did an okay job of doing that. Remember, make sure that you have your tunnels one tall, and you can make sure you have to manipulate the water a lot to make sure that the spiders reach where you want to go. It's going to take a lot of testing, but in the end, you should have a pretty good XP farm. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe. This has been GlitchNOut. Goodbye, everyone.